Good morning everybody, Wednesday the 3rd of November today, 6:45 in the morning, and I'm back down the River Wye this morning. This is a session I mentioned in the last video, midweek session, a bit of a special one-off. It's my mate Mick's birthday, so happy birthday Mick. We're down here for, as I say, a session on the River Wye. Now we've had a couple of frosts the last couple of nights, so things could be hard going. I'm going to mainly target the barbel, I think. Mick mentioned he may do a bit of pike fishing as well, so we may see some pike in the video as well. But the barbel, excuse me, might be playing hardball today, I think, with the weather as it is. We'll just have to suck it and see. I've got some various baits with me, so we can adapt as the day goes along, just depending what we want to do. As you can see from my clothing and the fact you can see my breath, it's pretty cold. It's about 4 degrees at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be a chilly one. We're due perhaps a few showers, a bit of sunshine as well, so it's going to be a bit of a mixed day. Weather-wise, the river is up. It's about 2.5 meters up when I went to bed last night, but it was dropping. So maybe that we can fish a few more swims than we could in the last video. He's hoping anyway. Right, I'm going to get my coat and gear on and stuff. It's just starting to get light, and then we'll get down the river and we'll have a look exactly where we are. So Mick's here now. We've had a walk up and down the stretch, sussed it out. The bottom sort of 2/3 of the stretch certainly look the best. Mick's going to swim just above me. He's doing a bit of pike fishing first off. Does look good for a pike in there. It's very muggy today. I take my coat off. I've got a bit of sweat on walking up and down there. Very, very close, but that's great fishing conditions. Hopefully this cloud cover will stay. We've got some nice cloud cover today. Hopefully that will remain. I've dropped into swim right at the very bottom of the stretch. First off, to have a go in here. I'm going to be doing some barbel fishing, as I've said. So what I've got is my fantastic Free Spirit Barbel Tamer rod, 12 foot, 2.25 pound test curve. With there being this amount of water on, with it still being a good 2 meters up, I've not got a quiver tip top section in. I've got the Avon style standard top section, and just gives it a little bit more stiffness. Playing fish in this flow, it's still really pushing through. There's about 6 inches or so visibility, I'd say, something like that. So it is clearing a little bit. And what I'm going to do is, my setup is my standard barbel running ledger setup. I made a video of how I tie this up. If you want to have a look up there, I'll stick a link up there. You can go and have a look how I tie this up. It's my standard go-to barbel setup, very adjustable. I've also got my own unique take on a barbel hook link. Again, I'll stick a link up there to that. You can go and have a look how I tie my hook links up. Do have great success with them. And I'm going to fish, let me show you, my boilie and paste wrap method. These are Dynamite Hotfish GLM boilies, soaking in their own matching liquid. What I will do is paste wrap that. I've made some paste from the boilies there. Again, if you want to see how I do that, there's no paste in this range. You have to make your own. If you want to see how I do that, I'll stick a link up there. You can go and have a look. I will knock that up. And that's going to be my go-to for now. Smelly baits as it's up, as it's coloured. Smelly baits, strong gear. We'll see how we get on. I have bought a few pints of maggots, about 3 or 4 pints of maggots with me as well, just in case things are really hard going and can't get the barbel going and not interested perhaps. We can either try smaller baits for the barbel, or we can try perhaps fish for some other species. I've got all my gear with me, so I've got different rods and stuff, so we could always do a little bit of alternative fishing. But it'd be nice to finish off my sort of concentrated, concerted summer and autumn barbel fishing, to carrying on barbel fishing, then perhaps move on to some other species when it gets a bit colder. As I say, we've had a couple of frosts the last couple of nights, but we're not into winter yet. It's not proper winter conditions yet. Yeah, that's probably enough waffle, isn't it? Let's go on with some fishing. One thing I didn't mention was my reel, my Daiwa GSBR LT 5000C, 5000 size reel. It's the BR stands for bait runner. I can stick the bait runner on and off as and when I take my hands off the rod. And LT stands for light and tough, I believe. I've got my favourite feeders on, Guru gripper feeder. I think 3 ounce will do okay in here. We've got a slack in front of me, perhaps rod length and a half out, and then there's a bit of a crease line where the flow starts to pick up, and that's where I'm going to concentrate. So here goes, first cast. Always a very exciting moment. Very restricted casting in here. I think I've sort of sat not in the swim, so I've got a better swing on the rod. There we go. I could probably underarm it really, but I'm not going to fish too far out at all. I really could probably have underarmed that out. See how deep that is. Well, I've had a little pluck on the way down. Probably really have my rod down for fishing in here, but we'll gradually go further out if we're not getting any bites, so I will leave my rod up in the air in that case. Bits of blue sky appearing in the sky. It's a bit of a nip in the air. So first move of the day. Absolutely nothing going on up there. Absolutely nothing. Not had a single tap in the swim. And bearing in mind, if you've seen the last video, that was 3 days ago. And James had a near double from that swim. And another fish and some chub. And swim next door that Mick's in, I had a double and another fish and some chub. So it's a bit of a strange one. But day's a long time, isn't it? Although the river is at the same level, but I say we have had 2 heavy frosts since then. It's different day, different weather, different result. Hopefully we can land on some fish. I mean, I'm thinking today, to be honest. Normally it's about finding some fish. Today I think it's about finding some fish that are hungry, that are willing to feed. So could be a bit of a tall order really, but we'll keep going. I think looking at the river, it's only really good for some barbel fishing. I've even got my trotting gear. I mean, it is definitely clear, and I can probably see about a foot into it at the moment, but I think it's too coloured to trot really. Unfortunately, it'd be nice to do a bit of trotting. With this much water on as well on this stretch, which I know so reasonably well. I fished here a few times. There's not really any swims to trot with this much water on either. They're all similar to this, where you can't run a float down. It soon disappears behind some bankside cover. So we'll stick with this for now anyway. We've only been at it maybe an hour or so. We'll keep going. See how we get on. So much current in here at the moment. 4 ounce lead is bouncing around, or feeder I should say. I have got a 5 ounce, you might have to go 5 ounce I think in here. Oh, we've had a pluck already. Very chubby, but that's a good sign within a minute or so of casting in. Yeah, we're getting some pulls in here. Does seem very chubby. Well guys, it's hard going today. I've had a few chubby rattles, but that's about it. Just gone on to luncheon meat that's been soaking in some garlic puree. It's nice and smelly, just to see if we can't pick a fish up, even if it is a chub. I might catch in a few nice chub today. I think they might perhaps be the only ones that want to play ball today. Well, we'll get a few knocks on this luncheon meat in here. So a few pulls and clangs and rattles, and luncheon meat's been nicked off the hook. So good signs, good signs. Even though I'm fishing close in, it's rattling through here, the water, so I'm having to just pay off a little bit of line. Just so the feeder holds. It does have the added benefit of sort of slowing the bites down a bit as well. Well, nothing doing in there in the end. Time for another move, I think. A few knocks on luncheon meat, but I think it was just I was sitting on my hands a little bit. So we'll have a little move. I've been in here for probably an hour now, so got plenty of bait in here. So we'll have a little move, and we'll perhaps come back later on. Well, another swim. Swim I have fished in the past. I've sat down by that post down there in the past. These banks are fairly precarious at the moment. The rain has been happening, obviously the river's been up as well. But I think I'm going to do as many swims as I can in the next sort of hour or so. Do lots and lots of swims. There's probably at least half a dozen to go at. Not exactly lots and lots, is it? But certainly half a dozen, 20 minutes each one. Just see if we can drop on some fish. I think that's going to be the way to go today. Caught in all the foliage. There we go. Drop that out there. Feel it to the bottom. We'll just give it, say, cut the casts, 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes if we're getting some reaction. We'll see how we get on, do a few swims, and hopefully we can drop on some barbel that fancy a munch. But it's proving to be as hard going as I thought it would be. But again, you know, that's when it happens when you book well in advance. You never quite know what the weather conditions are going to be, and it's certainly a gamble at the beginning of November. We've had the first couple of frosts of the year, so that certainly hasn't helped. And like I said, I did think about bringing my pike gear, but I didn't in the end. And Mick has actually had a pike. I'm a long way away from him, so I haven't got any footage of it, but I'll stick a picture up. There's a nice pike, £11. That was a nice birthday present. His first pike from the Y. Doesn't fish the Y very often. So we came as a bit of a special trip. Obviously I've been down here quite regularly this year, and came along really to bring him to a fairly productive stretch. Give him a few pointers as to, you know, the good swims, etc. But obviously things have changed a little bit with the couple of frosts. I think definitely a wise move, him bringing his pike gear. I think from my point of view, I'm gonna fish all these swims, these sort of 4 or 5 swims on the way back to where the car's parked. As I say, we'll do 20 minutes in each one. Get back down the bottom and then perhaps take stock. I can always I said I bought a few pints of maggots. We could always get on maggots, see if that will get things going if we can't get things going in any other way. Had some chubby bites on Luncheon Meat in our last swim, but didn't connect with any. Most of them were far too rapid to actually strike at, to be honest. Which tells me it's probably smaller fish. Well, it's starting to look more and more like one barbel bite would be a good result today. It really is not easy going at all. Now the sun's come out as well. It's nice and warm in inverted commas, but it's not going to make the fishing any easier. Oh, I've had a little pluck already. That's a good sign. Yeah, getting some knocks in here. So, back again. Back to one of the swims I was fishing earlier. Mick's decided to come for a rove as well. Put the pike gear away and come for a rove. Bit of, I was going to say bad news, terrible news, really. Done the water temperature. It's just 9 degrees. That's really not good. What's more important really than the outright temperature, as I think I touched on earlier, is the trend. Well, the trend certainly is down at the moment. 2 nights of frost. I've certainly got the water temperature going down. And look, if you've seen the last video when James and I were here, and it chucked it down a lot that day. Well, that day the Y was going down, and it chucked it down that day, and it was cold that day. And all that rain that fell that day and the following day is all filtered down into the river now. And that's clearly what's chilled the water. So I think we're up against it a bit. Mick's not blanked, he's had that pike, so that's brilliant. It's his birthday due today. His birthday trip, if you like. So yeah, that's good. That's the main thing. Is he's caught, you know, it is his birthday and he's caught. That's the main thing. But he'd like a barbel now as well. Do the pike and barbel double. Easy for me to say. Right, I'm going to attempt to actually catch a fish, be it a chub or a barbel. So we'll get back in here and see what happens. I think it may be a case of hanging on till sunset though now, really, realistically. I think that may be our best chance. If the barbel do decide to have a bit of a feed, that may be the best chance to, and the best time that they're going to do that. But who knows? Well, first chubby knock. He's had me bait. Very sure it was a chub. back on Luncheon Meat at the moment. What I like to do is use a bait needle, put it on, rather than shoving the hook through. Bait needle, pull the hook link through the loop end, from the loop end of the hook link. Do less damage to the meat that way. It stays on a bit better. And just pull the hook in and use, of course, the big tree, little bit of grass under the hook, just to keep the hook in place. Well, We finally got one of these chub, by the looks of it. Well, that's a lovely chub. Well, it's fantastic. We've got one of these Luncheon Meat stealing chub. Well, there we are. Wonderful to finally put one on the bank. Fantastic. Great scrap in this current as well. Wonderful. Right, let's get him back. Fantastic. Wow, that's great. We've had a fish. Wonderful. I'd love a barbel, but if we go in with a few of those, I'll be very happy, I have to say. Certainly since seeing that water temperature, I'd be very happy indeed. Chub are generally less affected by the water temperature, aren't they, than barbel. I think it may be a day for the chub today. Now we're in again. I think it's a chub again. Trying to keep him out of these plants. I think he's made it in there. Okay, moving. Come on, let you go. That's it, we've got him moving. Blimey, hairy stuff. There's a nice chub. There we go. Whew. Fab, a brace of chub. Wonderful. Well, lovely chub. Wonderful. Being a chub, of course, took us on a tour of the all the snags. Wonderful stuff. Right, let's get you back, fella. Fish is so cold. Go on, off you go. Wonderful stuff, wonderful. That water is gone. I'll be absolutely gobsmacked if we catch a barbel today. But you know, that's what happens when you book in advance. It's not even very warm. Not in the water. Let alone the water. Let's do it again. Let's see if it's dropping or rising or exactly what's happening. Mick decided he was going to go barbel fishing. He's now kind of decided he's gone back to the slack area and he's fishing sort of for 20 minutes for a pike and then 20 minutes for a barbel, and just sort of alternating at the moment. Yeah, that's settled around about the same, 9.1, 9.2. So here we are, last chance saloon. Hopefully, as I say, hopefully we can winkle a barbel out before we go. It's getting towards barbel o'clock now. It's only starting to set. We'll give it a good go in here for the next hour, hour and a half that we've got left. You can fish, as I say, an hour after sunset, which is about 5:45 tonight. Right. Get this out, see what we can do. Hopefully, hopefully we can get something going at least. Oh, as soon as that sun started to set, it's gone reasonably cold again. I'm getting towards single figures again. There we go. I think it's a chub. The tip just pulled over. It was a nice fish though. Hanging on. Come on, in you go. Gotcha. Well, that's a good start in a new spot. There we are. Wonderful. Clonking great chub. Fantastic. Well, we're in again. Again, I'm sure it's a chub. It wouldn't have been too much of a rush to get in with all this foliage around, getting me around my feet. Be in all the snags. It's coming in very easily, unfortunately. Now he tries to get in all the snags. There we go. Not even very big, I think. Just trying to get under my feet. Oh, there we go. Smallest of the day. Well, there he is. Bit of a wound on this side. Wonderful. Cracking stuff. So, what I have done is spent 2 minutes just nipping back to the car. What I've done is grabbed my other Free Spirit Barbel Tamer, exactly the same rod. So this one is set up with the quiver tip in. So, you'll be able to see it in the torchlight much easier. I don't need the extra stiffness anymore because the river's dropped so much while we've been here. At least 2 foot. There's very little fast flow, or no fast flow out where I'm fishing. There's some sort of medium paced current, but certainly not fast. And hopefully we'll get a bite off a barbel, and if we do, you'll be able to see the bite. I'll grab my torch as well at the same time. I had to go back to the car to get my torch and my head torch. So I just grabbed and swapped rods. Don't want to spend time de-tackling and tackling back up again. But, a quick swap of the rods isn't a problem. Everything else though is exactly the same. These Barbel Tamers, they're come with 2 top sections, like a standard sort of Avon top section, and then a quiver tip top section. And that's what I've put. Well, that's what I've actually got set up on this rod already. All my rods tend to live set up. And at the moment, because it's only a 1 rod stretch, I just set this up so that I set one up on the quiver tip and one up on the standard top, just so you can quickly change between or use whichever was most appropriate. That was most appropriate then, but this one is definitely most appropriate now. So I've swapped over. I mean, it's a 5-ounce tip, so we'll get good bite registration. Certainly better than we were, but it can certainly handle itself being 5 ounces. We'll get that torch on there as well. That's why we need to. We'll put it on now if it will show up. Not quite dark enough to need it yet. I'll put it on as and when. Yeah. Come on now. Come on, I think it's a chub. Oh. Yeah, it feels like a chub. Trying to get in all the snags. Feels like a small chub. Oh, it's not that small. There we are, guys. The lovely chub. Still not that barbel. But, yeah, these fish are very cold. They do feel very cold to the touch. Right, let's get him back. The end of another session. Very enjoyable session too. As you can see, it's just got dark. It's curfew time, so time to go home. No barbel, unfortunately, for either myself or Mick. Wouldn't have been overly surprised if you told me that first thing this morning. When I saw the water temperature, as I think I mentioned, I would have been surprised if we had caught, to be honest. And it's the water temperature's had a right knock the last few days, and that's certainly not done the fishing any good at all. Clearly it wasn't bothering the chub too much, but certainly it's put the barbel off. So you live and learn. That's just the way it is, isn't it? nothing you can do about water temperature. Just picked the wrong day, but it was Mick's birthday, so you do get to pick, do you? Now, I am going to try and get out this weekend. I'm not sure where or exactly when or what doing, but hopefully I'll be able to get out this weekend, and we'll have to sort of try and read the conditions and see what species we want to target and what venue to go to. Bit of news for the channel as well. The channel has a new patron, a chap called Adam. Hi Adam, many thanks for signing up through Patreon to be a supporter of the channel. It's much appreciated. Very nice to touch base with you as well, do it a message in, and hopefully hear from you in the future. And once again as well, many thanks to the existing patrons who support the channel. Your support is absolutely fantastic. So I think all there is left to do is to say thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling, and I'll see you all again very soon.